Spiritual messages for the collective, and kind of what comes through. I want to talk about our spiritual strength as leaders in the community, that we are given a big soul contract to come here and to enlighten ourselves and to become awakened through our own trials and tribulations. And a lot of the time, that's how awakening starts, is through going through something traumatic, something that's hard, things that maybe at the time we don't understand. And even as I'm having these other spiritual awakenings, I'm also learning and growing through that. I wouldn't say that it ever gets easier, but I can say that the task of being more consciously aware of ourselves and our actions and our role here and our role in our own physical lives. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience here on planet Earth, and that comes with a big task. We don't just come down here to live a 9-to-5 and to work at some odd-end jobs and to stress about bills. We're coming here to awake and to ascend from that excuse me, paradigm. You know, speaking about these things, somebody maybe has a hard time speaking up about their truths, or, you know, I want to touch on about there's a lot of people that are unspiritually awoken, or that are more in a naivety, and then we have the do-gooders, is what I'll call them, that are awake and that are trying to be benevolent and alchemists, and transmute and heal pain within their own energetic systems and that within others through healing themselves, right? Because we're human beings. So as we're being better versions of ourselves, coming out of the shadow, and when I say shadow, I'm talking about the unconscious parts of us, right? The things that we're not aware of, our behaviors, our actions. We make a path and hold space for other people to come into their own awakening and to be, you know, how many of you have gone through a spiritual awakening or not, you know, started seeing things, numbers, hearing things, experiencing things that you really couldn't put. It's hard for our linear brains, because our linear brains want to put everything in a box, and it has to have a meaning or a saying, or it has to make sense, right? And part of that is breaking out of that programming that we have to know everything. And, you know, through these current shifts and the full moon, I feel like a really heightened sense to break out of old paradigms and programming. And I still, you know, being human part of me, I have a want and a need to break out of, you know, the spiritual box. Because when things are too spiritual, you have to have a balance, right? You can't be all spiritual and can't be all physical. We're alchemists. We're living in duality. So we're learning and picking up tools of how to do that. So to start this read off, I just want to tell everybody thank you for being here if you're watching. And I want to send you love and light, and want you to know that you're protected. And I really sense a lot of people that might be tuning in that are in the middle of an awakening right now, whether it's their first or just ascending to a higher conscious state of universal awareness, that you are loved and that you're not alone. There is a lot of us out here that are walking our own paths, and I want to assure you that soon enough all of those paths are going to entangle with others, and you'll see why you're on the path that you are on. I know it feels lonely, and sometimes the only sacred piece that we have is tuning into readings and being around people that are like-minded or are consciously aware. You know, you find your readers that resonate with you and people that align, and I believe that when we land on videos and it just so happens to resonate, that our energies are in alignment. We're magnets. We magnetize the things within our life when we become awake that our higher selves know we need most and that we need to hear. And I believe in every message there's a message for everybody. And as far as things resonating, energy is fluid. So what's tonight could not be the same as tomorrow, because we are conscious creators. We're always shifting and transcending to higher states of awareness through dreams, daydreams, things that other people say, interactions we have with other. I mean, it takes just one small one small conversation with somebody that can spark and ignite something within ourselves, as I grab my Awakening Intuition deck, that really helps us to put a new perspective on the things that we normally wouldn't have, or notice things that my right ear just went like completely deaf, that we wouldn't notice. That's definitely a message for somebody. So while we're on this path, I just want to let you know that you're not alone, and that there are other people, beautiful, benevolent souls with big energy, right? We can't fit all that energy in one body, but we can consciously ascend by the way that we eat better foods, we take care of our body, our mind, our soul, our spirit, and bring them all onto the same playing field, and bring down these energies that are very ancient and wise, and we have deeper knowings, very, very vast knowledge within our beings that's just waiting to be awoken, right? Through the Akashic, through our own DNA, and it's the smallest stuff that's going to trigger that. So with that being said, I want to jump in here and just kind of see what the universe has for us, and thank you for being here, and I love you. And you're not alone. Those tears you shed, or those moments you stare off into the space and just wonder, what the hell am I doing here? I promise you, your purpose is big, and it's not going to look like anybody else's. Your gifts and your talents and your abilities are not the same as everybody else's. Your delivery methods are not going to be the same, so don't try to fit into a box. Don't try to be like everybody else, right? Be you. Do things your way and be just led by spirit, right? So I'm going to pull from this Awakening Intuition deck. Divine Masters, Keepers of Ancient Wisdom, I call on you now. Thank you for revealing to me what I need to know. I am willing to listen, and so it is. Divine Master within, the voice of my inner teacher, I call on you now. Awaken and activate. I am willing to remember you, and so it is. Holy Spirit, holy angels, benevolent beings, Archangel Michael, I ask that you would guard the gates as I channel these messages and that of my readers. Divine messages, universe. Messages for the collective and those that need it most right now. Allow the synchronicities to align. We have number 46. Connect to your higher self. Your higher self is concerned with the highest good and communicates through intuitive insights. Before taking action, ask yourself whether you're listening to your smaller self or your higher self. Your smaller self might be impulsive, lead you down one path, while your higher self has access to a better roadmap. That is number 46. Unleash your intuition and imagination. Number 34. You may be limiting your intuition by limiting your imagination. Expand your idea of what's possible now in your life and the world, while staying grounded, surrendered, and flexible. Unleash your imagination in general by indulging in fun and creative hobby, daydreams leading to real-life manifestations. And there we go, and talking about the creativity and power that we have within to manifest when we start working through our inner self, right? Because everything we need to know is within. 41. Cocoon to protect your sensitive system. Snuggle into a cozy, calm vibe. Court gentle or soft energy. People, books, movies, music, places, conversation, and experiences now. Create a buffer between yourself and stress or drama, even in your own thoughts. That really stood out to me. Create a buffer between yourself and stress or drama, even in our own thoughts. Cocoon to protect your sensitive nervous and psychic systems, and your intuition will sprout wings and soar. I'm going to read from number 46, Connecting to your higher self. Connecting to the higher self. Sometimes your intuition will give you answers you don't want to hear, or that are inconvenient or frustrating. Like that it is better to wait than to take action, or that it is better to spend money consulting an expert than to make a decision on your own. Your smaller self can be impulsive and more hardwired to primal drives. It has an immediate ground level perspective that's useful, like when you need to get food, shelter, or keep yourself physically safe. However, your higher self is more reflective and strategic, and your higher self is connected to your soul and a GPS that can zoom out. It's like driving a car and having an urge to take a shortcut when your soul, with an aerial view, you can already see the traffic jam ahead that you've been driving straight into. While listening to your smaller self has value and should be emphasized in certain situations, right now you are being guided to pay more attention to your higher self and the wisdom of your soul. Some of that wisdom may not make immediate sense and may even go against your primal urge. Keep yourself safe and make sure your primal needs are met while you explore and entertain the wisdom of your higher self. Primal urges can be hugely helpful, like getting inside during a bad thunderstorm, or they can be self-sabotaging, like cashing out an investment the second the market quivers. Keep your foot ready to tap on the gas or the brake now. Use caution and more discernment with the actions that you take. Action step to this card. Practice taking a beat before taking actions, when possible, and consult your wise higher self. Giving your intuition a chance to chime in on your decision making by bumping the brakes on your actions on your actions is wise now. Avoid being reactive. Watch out for making big decisions with overly fearful, stimulated, triggered, or rushed. Some strong primal desires you are experiencing right now may not serve you or others in the long run. Be kind to your future self by being deliberate in your decisions and actions now. Take extra time to mull options with your sixth sense. If you feel strongly pulled to someone and suspect you share a significant soul contract, for example, take time to discern what it is specifically. Are they meant to be a lover or a business partner? Your higher self might already know the answer or an option that is in everyone's highest good. Watch for a feeling of peace opposed to urgency or unsettlement to know you've arrived at the right call. Think long term instead of short term. Think long term instead of short term. Connecting to our higher selves. Meditative state, taking breaths, being wise. Let's talk about that connection to our higher self. Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, messages for the collective. 2 wanted to come out. Regeneration, number 34, and intergalactic communication. Receiving messages from the higher aspects of your soul. Right? Being in the physical, it's hard to realize that we have the wings to soar through the tough times because we look at what's in front of us and the fears that have been programmed into us. Bill paying, an urgency to get to work on time, stressful situations with other people and needing to be in a hurry because you only have so much time in a day, right? The rush. Regeneration, regenerating. Going within, taking time to listen to ourselves. I heard, "Oh, wise one within, you have the eyes that see. I am willing to listen." What else do we have? Benevolent beings, extraterrestrials, passed on loved ones. I'm hearing a different deck. I heard the love message. I really feel like somebody's been taking care of their spirit and their energetic system through foods that they're eating, more greens. Being consciously aware of the things that we put in our body is actually what we are, right? Because that is what we're reading here, take care of our energetic and psychic systems. Well, when we have good psychic abilities, we're one with our spirit, right? We're able to connect. When we're eating triple cheeseburgers and, French fries, just shit filled with additives and preservatives, it's hard to connect because that body is breaking down all that stuff that it's so toxic for our body. We're not meant to eat like that. We're really not. In our mind, we have our pleasures. We think we're hungry. There's some highly spiritual people that will eat, what we eat in one day, once a week. If you starve the body, the spirit comes alive. I think, not starve the body, but you know what I mean? We're so gluttonous in a lot of ways, so becoming consciously aware of that. Somebody definitely needed to hear that and know that if you are becoming more consciously aware, that's a sign from your spirit guides that is something that they've been working on you with. So those inklings you've been having to eat different, maybe drinking milk and having, white bread, or, it just doesn't taste good anymore, and you actually feel sick from eating that. What else do we have? Connect to your higher self. Unleash your imagination. Attention. I am attentive to all that manifests within me. When negativity arises within me, I transform it into light, love, and hope. My hope for others is unconditional, and so is my love. I forgive. My desires to improve is constant. I affirm that I am brave and hardworking. Action. My divine action indicates love and harmony. I am aware of my thoughts and driven by my positive forces. I listen to my heart. My desires to manifest light transforms tests into growth, challenges into opportunity, and fear into love. Fear, we were talking about that. Fear is a number one killer, right, of the things that we're trying to accomplish, because it's scary not knowing what the next step might be, what it's going to look like, if we're going to have the means to do it. And, I feel like there's some people right now that are really stepping out and saying, fuck that job. I'm going to do something that right now might not make sense, and you might get a lot of slough back from your family and be called crazy. Why are you going to do that? There's no revenue in it. But I can assure you, when you follow your heart, everything we do from the heart is of value. It is always abundant. When we move from a heart space in our relationships and our jobs and the way that we treat ourselves and the way that we're being, it's easy to take the action and have the attention to do what our soul's leading us to do. We're paying attention. We're becoming, consciously aware of what our soul needs most, right? We come down here and we're always asking for all these things. Well, when we're able to clean up our eating